Hi everybody. Now you might have watched the video that I published yesterday about my feelings about the fact that I think that the DayZ devs need to stop developing and adding things to the current version of DayZ. I think we need to draw a line and say, okay, the game is really good now, and going forward we should just do bug fixes, but we need to concentrate on DayZ 2. And in this video I just really wanted to talk about how that's going to kind of work, or how I think it's going to kind of work, and what evidence I have to support the way that I think it's going to work, and kind of the benefits of all this kind of happening. Now in that video as well, it's not just the case of okay, just stop and just do bug fixes. Now there's a few other things that I think need adding to it, mainly revolving around the console side of things. The fact that I think we need some sort of configuration JSON to give us an admin, a configuration JSON to give us a bit more control over zombies, some sort of way of locking normal doors on normal buildings, and I think zombies should be able to climb on top of vehicles and be able to go through doors. And pretty much if you do those things, then I think DayZ standalone, if that's what we'll call DayZ we have at the moment for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, will be done. So what is this going to mean for existing players of DayZ, especially on PlayStation and Xbox, and on older PCs as well? So what I think is going to happen is that the DayZ devs, Bohemia Interactive, are very keen to get DayZ onto their new engine. So their new engine is on Arma Reforger. So Arma Reforger is the test bed that Bohemia Interactive are using to get them to Arma 4, as we can see on this video. So Arma Reforger, which is available on Xbox and PC, next gen Xboxes, Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X's, and it's probably going to come out on PlayStation 5 when it goes to version 1.0. It's almost like a beta that they're running, where they're giving us these islands, they're giving us these maps, they're giving the mechanics, and it's giving the Bohemia Interactive devs and independent modders the ability to play around with the tools that Arma 4 will be released on, so that when Arma 4 comes out, it will be a much more finished and polished product than Arma 3 was when it came out as well. And we cannot ignore the fact that console is incredibly important to Bohemia Interactive. Now I know these figures are a bit old, they're from 2020, but if you look at, say for example, Arma 3 has got in 2020 had 1.1 million base games sold, and very importantly 2.2 million pieces of DLC sold. Now that would have probably at least doubled, because we've had some really important pieces of DLC for Arma 3 since then. And in 2020 had 2.3 million active players, and in 2020 DayZ sold 1.3 million copies. Only 760,000 bits of DLC sold, but there's only the Livonia map anyway, so that's all it could be. But with 6.4 million active players, and in fact I did do a video not that long ago about how there are many more players playing on DayZ console than there is on DayZ PC, but those figures just don't get released. Now the reason why Bohemia Interactive want DayZ 2, let's call it, to come out on the new engine is because the new engine allows us to have workshop items or mods in game. So if you fire up Arma Reforger on your Xbox, you can go into the workshop, and the PC mods, if you can call them that because they work on Xbox as well, are there. And so all these mods you see here that are made by, not officially by Bohemia Interactive, but made by other people, you can play on your Xbox, and it's outside of the Steam workshop, which is absolutely fantastic. It's fantastic because Bohemia Interactive know it is the core of their business, that they know that the thing that keeps their games going is modders. So they know the reason why Arma 3 is still around is because of the modders that have produced such amazing mods, and some of them have even produced the official CDLC mods as well. The reason why DayZ stayed alive on PC until console came along, because I'm a big firm believer the thing that really saved DayZ, I mean that the modders definitely had their part, but DayZ injected so much money into Bohemia Interactive that I think it really probably went a long way to funding the development of Arma Reforger and into Arma 4 as well. again, was modding as well. So it's an incredibly important part of their business, and any game they release will have full modding support. They are all the way in with modding. They fully understand how it can take a game and they can keep it going, and keep the player base enthralled with it for many, many years, for the 10 years that we've had DayZ and Arma 3 going. So what's going to happen? Well, what I believe is going to happen is we're going to have 2 versions of DayZ. There's going to be the DayZ that we have at the moment on PC, and you're going to have it on Xbox and PlayStation. Let's call it the last gen DayZ. And that's going to carry on as it is. Maybe it'll have a small dev team who will be concentrating on bug fixes, maybe turning on the seasonal events every now and again. They may even keep adding small things into the game. That may well happen, because what might happen is that they may well develop a workflow which enables them to import things from the new Reforger engine into the old version of DayZ. Like we had the vehicles recently, didn't we? And it's going to be a small team that are going to keep doing that. And then we're going to have DayZ 2, or whatever it's going to be called. Let's just call it DayZ 2, and that will be a separate title, and that will be running on the Arma Reforger engine. It will be out on PlayStation, it'll be out on Xbox, it'll be out on PC. It will have the workshop inside the game, so there won't be the Steam workshop, and all the mods will generally be cross-platform. So if you write a mod, it will work on PC, PlayStation and Xbox, and these titles will run parallel with each other. So you might say, well, why? What's your evidence for that? Well, the evidence for that is the way that Arma is going. So at the moment with Arma, we've got Arma 3, which is still going strong. So 10 years after release, just like DayZ, people are still buying it. Lots of people are still playing it. And in fact, you know the future of Arma 3 is secure because you have things like the Arma 3 Creator DLC, Spearhead 1944, which is just coming out. So these DLCs are made by companies outside of Bohemia Interactive. This is by Heavy Ordnance Works, but it comes under the umbrella of Bohemia Interactive. They obviously help them a lot in terms of polishing the product, I would have thought, maybe, but then they allow the DLC to be released as part of the Arma franchise on Steam, and then they can charge money for it. And so this gives money. Undoubtedly Bohemia Interactive gets a cut, just like Steam get a cut, and that money then goes to the devs of this particular mod, and that has just come out. So in the year that Arma 3 is 10 years old, we're still getting official content released for it. And these pieces of DLC take a long time to make. They take 3-4 years to come up with something like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's even more that are going to be coming out for Arma 3, and even more DLC. What does that mean? More money for Bohemia Interactive, keeps the player base excited about the game and keeps them playing it. So they're not going to be throwing away Arma 3. Arma 3 is going to be carrying on going in parallel with Arma 4. And in fact, if you look at Arma's Twitter now, they are called Arma Platform. So that's the kind of idea. They're not Arma 3, they're not Arma 4, they're not Arma 2. They're now the Arma Platform. And underneath the Arma Platform, we're going to have Arma 3, we're going to have Arma Reforger. It's going to be interesting to see how long Arma Reforger hangs around for, whether they keep that as kind of a test bed for Arma 4 stuff. So I have Arma Reforger, and then we're going to have Arma 4. And they're all going to be going in parallel with different teams on them. Obviously, Arma Reforger and Arma 4, they'll be able to swap in between because it's the same platform. Because why would you throw away 10 years of all those amazing mods that have been made for Arma 3? And people are still making today by just going, right, we're going to Arma 4, forget about Arma 3. So that's what's going to happen with Arma 4. And so I think exactly the same thing is going to happen with DayZ. DayZ will become maybe the DayZ platform, and then we'll have DayZ Last Gen, which will be compatible on PlayStation 4s, Xbox Ones, older PCs. Obviously, it will still work on Xbox Series S's, Series X's, and PlayStation 5s, but then we'll have the next gen version of DayZ, which will be running on Arma Reforger engine, the Enfusion Engine. It will have an internal workshop. It will make it incredibly easy to have things like helicopters and tanks and all that wonderful stuff, special machine guns on console. And it will be a money maker for Bohemia Interactive, running in parallel with the existing old version of DayZ 2. So no gamer will be left behind, because Bohemia Interactive and the DayZ devs and the Arma devs, they're pretty savvy. They've been around for a long time. They know what they're doing. We know they make the odd mistake every now and again, but I think the core people at Bohemia Interactive really understand how to make a game that's got legs, and they really understand that the heart of what they do is modding. Because if they did flick over to a new version of DayZ and kind of binned the old version of DayZ, one would be really disappointing, because I've made hundreds, if not thousands, of videos on just modding console DayZ as well. So that's why it's not going to happen. We're going to have old DayZ running in parallel with new DayZ, just like we're going to have Arma 3 running in parallel with Arma 4, with Arma Reforger somewhere in the middle. So there we go. Hopefully that answers some questions. Hopefully that focused people's mind. Obviously I could be completely wrong. What do you think? Put your questions in comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.